Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sher Vancouver podcast. Today is our last episode for season 2. We want to bring on a very massively popular person under the name Princess Jules. Julie Vu is a transgender activist, model, content creator, and entrepreneur. She has started her YouTube journey in 2013, where she shared her personal stories and documented her transition from male to female. She has been a spokesmodel for many brands like Sephora, Aritzia, IKEA, RW Co., and much more. She's built a community online where she inspires and educates the larger community. So please welcome Julie Vu.
Woo! Yay! Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, you look beautiful.
Thank you. Just 2 hours of makeup.
No biggie.
No biggie.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we got to connect with Julie Vu through Instagram, and she's very popular, so we're so happy
Thank you.
It went through. The DMs went through.
The DMs went through. I'm honored to be here. Yes.
Since it's a SHERVAN podcast, we highlight BIPOC stories, queer and trans stories. We wanted to touch on being trans and Asian, specifically Vietnamese. And, how has that been growing up?
Yeah, I guess being a child from Vietnamese descent, they're not very accepting, to be honest. Growing up, it was really hard for me. I guess they're just very traditional and old school. So growing up, it was kind of difficult. We didn't know what being gay or even what trans meant. It was hard, and they didn't accept me for a very long time, to be honest. So it was like a battle to get them on my side, to accept me. And I always say, time is key and patience is everything. So it was difficult at first.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're not as accepting as, the Western culture. And so it was a battle.
Yeah.
It was a battle.
I'm just curious, the Vietnamese community in Vancouver, has that changed for you? I know there's rice cakes, which is the Vancouver Asian party. Have you sought out your Vietnamese queer and trans community?
To be honest, not really. I guess I just feel very discouraged with my community. And so I kind of just shied away from facing them because I had such a hard time with my family. And I just felt like such a disgrace to the Asian race. And so I kind of just did my own thing and I guess seeked out refuge in other parts of the world, I feel like.
Right.
Exploring different parts and just finding acceptance where I can.
Mm-hmm. Have you felt like you want to connect with other Vietnamese queer community as well? Have you felt that need or desire at all?
To be honest, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like being a trans person, I feel like it's very competitive. It's it's almost like a race line that everyone's like, I need to be the most beautiful. I need to have the most surgeries, or I need to be the most passable. And it gets a little toxic, to be honest. So I kind of just keep to my own, do what I like doing, dancing, creating content, and minding my own business. I would love to reach out, but I just feel like I don't know where that will get me.
But you may not know, I think because, we're going to touch on this, but with your YouTube channel,
right,
the community that you've built, you never know who are the Asian folks.
Right.
Maybe you're not reaching out directly, but I think you being so visible and providing that representation, I'm sure is helping many, many folks in the BIPOC community. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally. And you may make some amazing new connections
Mm-hmm.
after this gets released, and we hope so.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. That was really great. You're being vulnerable with us.
Yeah. I just feel like maybe the Vietnamese culture, there aren't a big community, a big LGBT, I feel like, in Canada.
Okay.
And I feel like it's frowned upon over in Vietnam. And I was just recently in Vietnam. I have something called passing privilege. And I have to acknowledge that because when I'm in Vietnam, I feel like a lot of people don't know that I'm trans.
Okay.
And I get less discriminated against. If I was more visibly trans, I feel like I would be discriminated against more.
Yeah, I think that comes with, like you said, the pressure to be the most beautiful and I think that comes with beauty standards of women, right? There's always a certain way to look and thank you for sharing the passing privilege. And I think that comes with many identities, right? For myself, I can pass as straight. right? I don't face a discrimination if I were to have short hair
Right.
and, present more masculine. So I think there are privileges we all have,
Right.
right?
Totally.
So acknowledging that and sharing that is yeah, it's fine.
It's difficult because I want to advocate for my people, but then I have people telling me, well, you don't know what it's like to not pass. You don't struggle the way we struggle. Yeah, you may be trans, but you kind of don't get it. You don't face the things we face. When we go in the washroom, people look at us weird. When you go in the washroom, people probably don't think twice. And I have to keep that in mind and be mindful of that as well.
Yeah, I think every person individual has, we have our own battles and our struggles on a day-to-day, given what situation we're put in. So yeah, as long as we respect that and acknowledge it,
Right.
I think we're doing the right thing. I feel like we hit super hard real fast.
Yeah. Whoa.
We went down
We went
deep.
for it.
We went down deep. So we're going to pick it up a notch a little bit. But yeah, we just were curious to find out, like, what age were you at where you figured, you know what, I want to transition. I feel ready. You know what I mean? Like, I feel this in my body and I want to make that transition.
I guess growing up, I always knew that I was different. At a young age, you don't know what's right and what's wrong. You just are. And so growing up, I thought I was a girl until I got to a certain age where I'm like, okay, this is strange. This is weird. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm a boy and I like boys. What am I? Because all the other kids, they like girls and they like boys. And that's when I knew something was wrong. But I kind of suppressed those feelings and try to make my family happy. And I guess at 19 years old in high school, that's when I really knew what the term transgender was. Back then, I didn't know what that meant. I was in the school library searching up stuff when I should be studying. Came across the term transgender, ran to my friend Kara and was like, oh my God, this is who I am.
Wow.
I'm transgender. She was accepting, and I started my journey then. But I always knew I was different ever since I was a child. I wanted long hair. I played with Barbies, My Little Pony. I just knew I was different.
Yeah.
And I knew, and I know that my parents knew, but they just would not accept it.
And you're telling us about, like, your parents and their acceptance of it over the years, how it has changed now. And also your YouTube videos have explained a lot of that, which is awesome. Did you want to walk us through that a little bit, if you feel comfortable, of how your mom and your dad have accepted or had their own battles as well?
My parents separated when I was like 16 years old. My dad was kind of the hard one to kind of win over. My mom was more lenient, but they were both very closed-minded and not accepting of the LGBTQ. My dad, I had to really sit down and have many conversations with him. He would say that I'm sick, I'm not his child, I need to go to the doctors, this is not normal, like, what's wrong with you? It was hard because not having your parents' support is so discouraging and so heartbreaking. And I feel like now that I've built a name for myself, I'm hardworking, I'm independent, he sees that and he's kind of overlooking that. He's like, okay, maybe like you aren't so bad. Maybe you are normal. And so it's been better, but the battle there it was an uphill battle for sure.
Tough one, yeah.
Yeah. There were moments where I had to like escape my room from the window because my parents would be like, I don't want you walking out the front door because we have friends over. And so that was hard.
Yeah, of course.
Like having that image of me like climbing out the window to like leave my house to go see my friends was so hard. But, time is everything. And now they've come around and they're very proud of me.
It's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad to
Look
hear
at
that
you now.
they've changed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doing
Yeah.
big things.
Yeah.
With big people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think that ties into like there's two things I want to touch on. One was you sharing in high school, and I think we were chatting off this, like that's huge because we won't say anyone's age, but it was back in the days when you grew up in Surrey as well. I know we were saying like I grew up in Surrey as well, and at that time the only term that was thrown around was gay.
Right.
That was an insult. So I'm so happy that you found that as an educator, that at that time you found the term transgender in the library. Like that's huge. I wonder like, what was it, a book or what was it?
It was online.
Online,
Like
okay.
researching.
Oh, yeah.
And I actually printed it out and like took the paper and ran to my friend in school.
Oh,
It was out of a movie. It was crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. It described everything that I was.
Wow.
The inside not matching the outside, like a
Right.
nutshell.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think like the second part where you were saying, you know, your dad is coming around now because he sees all the amazing work you've been doing. And I think that's so great.
Right.
And I also think that ties into like this thing that like queer and trans people feel of like attaining excellence, so that like our queerness is not something that our families have to
Right.
be disappointed by.
Right.
Right. So I think we've had that same narrative with all the guests. Like
Right.
they're all amazing achievers. And I think we
Right.
all have this in common where we're like, we're gonna do big things so that our queerness or transness doesn't get in the way. Like it doesn't
Right.
disappoint our families.
Just in culture-wise, I think our
Yes.
parents in general, regardless if we're queer or not, but they are like, success is like the biggest
Yes.
thing.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
If you've made it,
Mhm.
like you're
Yes.
number one kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's such huge pressures in that regard as well, with you name it, even like how you look, what you're doing for work, where you
Yeah.
go to school, all those kind of like to me they're crazy. I don't know. I mean, if I have a kid ever, do I want them to be successful in life? Yes. But if they're doing something they're passionate about, that's more important to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we also have to change that narrative for the next generation that's growing up as well, as opposed to, you have to be, in Indian culture, it's like, you got to be a doctor, engineer, what's the other crazy stuff? Lawyer,
yeah.
you name it, and if you haven't attained that, you're just like
Yeah.
use a 5 out of 10. You're not a 10 out of 10.
Quite make it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, but
We'll change
we
that.
hear you. We're
we'll
going to
change
change
that.
that.
Yeah.
And everybody else listening, we're all going to collectively do
Yes,
the
we
good,
are.
right things to set people on the right path. Our kids, the next generation. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Thailand a few times, and there's a huge trans community over there.
Yes.
But it's very segregated, right? So successful transgender people are respected. They're
Yes.
everything. And people who aren't, they're treated so poorly.
Same in India.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're working in bars, on the streets, not respected.
Yeah.
But if you have a good job, a news reporter, whatever that is, you're so respected. So it's very segregated.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I think that's like, yeah, in Thailand, I've been there a few times too.
Yeah.
Same, seen that. India, 100% seen that as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's many other countries that it's the same, right?
I think, like, touching on that, it just reminds us that we are so privileged to be in Canada, and, we can be visible queer and trans on the streets. Like, our rights are respected in a certain way. And I think what we wanted to ask you, like, what was the transitioning process like in Canada? Are the services good? Like, walk us through that maybe for some listeners who are thinking, or some resources about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I transitioned, 10 years ago. 10 years ago, and the process was pretty long. You had to go see a doctor, and sometimes the waiting list would be so long because there's not many doctors that is focused in, transitioning and gender. And so the process was, you had to go on 1 year of real life experience. And that meant that you had to dress the gender that you wanted to transition into. So I had to present as female for 1 full year, working at a job for one year, and sign off by my manager to say, like, Julie has been dressing as a woman for a year. She
Wow,
is comfortable now. So I guess they're trying to avoid people rushing transition and feeling uncomfortable. You get the surgery and you wear a woman's clothing and you're like, oh, wait, like, I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
It's irreversible. What are you going to do? So real life experience, I had to go to the police station, get my fingers printed, just in case I'm not some criminal trying to get away with murder or something.
Right. Yeah.
And then be on a waiting list to get the surgery. It was a long process, but to me, it was worth it because this was my life. And I wasn't going to wait like another day to be me. And so I feel like now there's still like a waiting list. There's not many doctors who's educated. I feel like our healthcare system needs to step up their game, be educated, and learn more. I remember after coming back from my surgery, I had some complications. And I remember bleeding. And I went to the hospital. The doctor did not know what to do with me. And that was the scariest thing ever. I'm like, what now, doctor? Like, you don't know what you're going to do? Like, I need help.
Yeah.
So definitely more education in our healthcare system.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I feel, and I'm not too sure, maybe you can confirm, but I feel like they have now made resource books online, at least, for people that are looking to transition. So from 10 years ago, I think it's changed a little bit because I have a few friends that have transitioned and are looking to transition, I should say, in the last few years. And there has been good resources to a certain extent, but the waiting process is extremely long.
It's extremely long.
It's extremely
long. Is it like
long.
years? Are we talking about years, months?
I think it can be.
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah.
I have friends who are still on the waiting list
Yeah.
to get surgery or to seek help because they're just overloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that there's been a few struggles.
And that can be very detrimental to someone who's struggling with gender dysphoria.
Yeah.
Yes.
For me, I couldn't wait like a single day. It was either get on the table or die. As dramatic as that sounds, it was serious.
And that must have been really difficult at that time, like you were saying, 10 years ago, where doctors were not educated. And I feel like they're still not. Like, I think there's a stat that says like 60% of queer and trans folks don't feel comfortable to tell their doctors their identity because fear, A, and B, they're like, what are they going to do? Like, they don't really know. I always tell Neri about my family doctor. It's like an Indian lady. And
oh, no.
When I told her, she was like, I know a lot of lesbians. I was like, what? She was naming. I was like, what is happening? Like, this is.
Not Ellen, girl.
I know. She was like, Ellen, we're good. You're safe with me. And I was like, I need a new doctor.
And have you found one is a real question?
No.
Amazing.
Straight to jail.
Yeah. But yeah, that just shows like it must be so difficult even now. Even like we say we're blessed in Canada. Of course we are. But like you said, our doctors need to step up. Like,
yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know we also have like a really small percentage of doctors here too, you know, like there's not enough doctors or nurses, etc. So we struggle with that as well in this day and age here in BC for sure.
Yeah.
I believe there's only one doctor in Canada who performs the bottom surgery.
Oh, wow.
In Montreal. I'm not sure if that's the case still, but I believe it is. Dr. Brassard in Montreal.
Okay.
And that's where you went, right?
That's where I went.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about that there's one.
I know. So the waiting list is crazy.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Well, let's hope there's more folks listening out there being like, I'm going to get my doctor degree. And
Any doctors out there?
Yes.
We need the surgery.
Help us out.
Help us. Your
creation of Princess Jewels and your YouTube content.
Yay, Princess Jewels.
Yeah, and you've like you've kind of shared your story, and you have thousands of viewers, thousands of subscribers. How did that come up? I know you've been doing it for many years now, but yeah, how are you creating this content? What's your mindset at? And maybe you could share with the audience what kind of videos you do share on there so they get a background and can click in and check you out.
Yeah. So Princess Jewels happened near the end of high school. I've always wanted to share my passion with makeup, acting, video creating. And I took it to YouTube because my parents are very old school. It's like go to school, come back home, you're in your room. That's it. I wasn't allowed to stay after school, extracurricular activities, play sports. No, it was straight to your room. And I kind of created a community online, I guess, just by sharing my life story, the things that I was into, makeup, creating funny skits. And I didn't see a lot of information about the LGBTQ community on YouTube. There was like a handful, but there weren't many. And when I started to transition, I'm like, okay, I think I'm going to document this because I couldn't find anything online about transitioning.
Yeah.
Nothing. And I had a moment where I thought to myself, should I continue doing this? Should I go down this road and this path? A, it could be a good thing and help people and save lives. Or B, I can out myself and it can bring danger to me. Walking down the street, someone might recognize me and be like, hey, you're that trans girl on YouTube. Let's get her. But then I realized a lot of people out there do need help. And I just wanted to share my story, the raw, unedited surgeries before and after and everything that I was looking for that wasn't available.
Yeah, you cover everything. The whole shebang.
Everything.
Yeah.
Day 1, day 2, post-op, pre-op, what do you need to know?
Yeah.
Dilators, we got it all.
No, it's great. It's a great resource for
Yeah.
folks as well, right? To
Right.
really understand, or somebody that may be looking at transitioning or has also been through it to be able to connect and resonate.
Absolutely.
So yeah, kudos to you for doing that.
Thank you.
That must have been like you were, like you said, you were one of the first ones because you didn't
Right.
see it. You didn't
No.
see this. So you started it in 2013. Is that when YouTube started too?
No, oh my God, girl, YouTube's been around for way longer.
I don't know.
Come
A
on,
little longer, yeah.
Yeah.
A little longer,
like
I
another
think.
20 years before, I think.
2000?
No.
Yes, come on. So who knows the answer to this?
This is.
Hey Siri, what's
Yeah.
the answer, girl? I don't know.
Am I thinking Instagram? No.
No.
Okay. We're good.
I would say like maybe 5 years earlier.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Okay, wait.
I wasn't
y'all
that
think
late to the game, was I?
Wait, what are you guys saying? YouTube started when?
2010.
Wait, I didn't start in 2013. No, did I say 2013? Yeah, I did. No, I didn't. When did I start YouTube?
How much are we betting?
Folks, when did YouTube start? 2005.
2005.
Is that the answer?
That's the answer.
Is that the answer?
That's the answer.
What's the answer?
It was registered 2005. February 14th, Valentine's Day.
Oh my god.
Wait, no. When did I start YouTube?
2013. That's what it says. But you tell us. You tell us, girl.
Did it say 2013?
No, it's 2005.
No.
2005.
I think I started 2010. But I've been on there for 13 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
So I'm not too far off.
Yeah.
Yeah, too far off.
Too far off.
Love it. And I think you talking about like the community you built.
Yeah.
That's huge because I know like, you
Right.
posted recently about your last video, which was taking time away from YouTube. And I remember like Neri and I were going through all the comments and they're like, we've been with you since your first video.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So how has that been like creating this massive community online? And
Yeah, and just leaving everyone. Just abandoning. Bye, guys. Good luck.
I'm
I mean,
out.
how long do
did my
people
job.
want to see you on Princess Jules? People need to
I'm
know.
like, this is not keeping up with the Kardashians. I can't go on for much longer, guys. It was funny because last night after the show, I went to Cactus Club and the server was like, oh my God, I used to watch you on YouTube all the time. And I was like, it was really sweet. I still get messages and comments of people messaging me saying, wow, like I'm getting surgery in 10 days. Your videos have been so helpful. I appreciate everything you're doing. And it's very heartwarming to know that you can make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
But with that also comes with the negativity. I still get death threats on a daily basis. I still have my YouTube app, so comments will randomly pop up throughout the day, just a reminder and be like, you suck, you're gonna die, or whatever. So being on social media, you gotta have thick skin.
Yes.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know people want to be social media influencers and content creators. I know that's
That's a thing. That's a thing. Well, Sharon was saying, as an educator, she asks the kids, hey, what do you want to be? And she's like, YouTubers. I'm like, oh my goodness.
I'm like, yeah, kids, but I teach kindergarten. What do you want to be when you grow up? They're like, YouTubers.
it's like, first of all, stop coming from my gig. Be something else. There's enough of us. Thank you. I was joking.
Yeah. And I think like for them, because they see little kids on it, which is great. If that's what you want to do. I know Neri was saying she has like a little
11-year-old nephew that's like editing, has like thousands of followers. And I'm like,
Oh.
yeah.
damn, that's so good. Good for you. And also to like just learn at home
Yeah.
Mhm.
and to be boom, boom, pow. But this generation of kids is just so fast.
Yeah, they want that fast fame, that fast life. And maybe you can touch on that. Like, what is it like? Because social media is a double-edged sword. We know that.
Of course.
What is it like to be a full-time social media influencer?
I feel like it's not for everyone. I feel like people see how cool it is, but people don't really see the hard work that you put into it, like daily posting, and you always constantly have to be creative and think outside the box and deal with haters and hate comments. It could really affect your self-esteem, and it's not built for everyone. It really isn't. You gotta have really thick skin, and I have gone through that. You know, I've been depressed. I've deactivated my accounts many times to step away from it. I've spiraled out of control. It can get really dark
Yeah,
with the death threats every single day.
Yeah.
that is a lot.
You gotta have thick skin
Yeah.
and 2 pounds of makeup.
With your videos, was it all you? Like, I know
Yeah.
you were sharing your Princess Jules videos. You
It's
did the
all
editing.
it's all me, and people don't believe that. Like till this day,
Yeah.
like you do everything, I do everything.
Wow.
I am a triple threat, honey. Be careful.
Yeah.
I just like it, I guess. I was recently on a trip and I pulled up my drone and people were like, "It's your drone? Who's flying this drone?" I'm like, "Me." They're like, "Oh, you're not just beautiful, but you can fly a drone." I'm like, "Yes, excuse me." But yeah.
Well, good for you. Yeah, we were just saying, we're like, when we were looking at your videos together doing research on you, we're like, oh, she must have a team.
Yeah.
Like, these videos look so good.
Yes.
And
That's
lo
what
and
everyone thinks.
behold,
That's what everyone
you're doing it all.
thinks.
Yeah.
I work for hotels and like, "Oh, you hired like someone to fly the drone." I'm like, "No, that's all me."
That's amazing.
Mm.
Wow.
That's what YouTube's for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'd be looking
Yeah.
up. How to fly a drone.
Self-taught the first time I flew into a tree, so it's not always glamorous.
Fair enough.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like important for kids, like the next generation, to know that, right? Because they want that. Everyone wants that fast fame. Oh, how many
Right.
followers? And
Right.
I think it can get a lot. I mean, we're not any type of influencers, but we have an Instagram page for a podcast, and yeah, it does get like, oh my god, we have more listeners. And I think just remembering that, like, okay, slow down. Whoever it helps, it helps. Like, we
Right.
don't need to have a million followers to feel like
Right.
we are impacting folks' lives with this podcast. And I think with yourself, with YouTube, that must have been hard for you. Were on for how many years, you were saying?
13 years.
13 years. Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like people have grown with me, my family, like, "Oh my God, your little sisters are so big now."
Oh,
And sometimes it's so weird because they know so much about my life and I don't know anything about theirs.
yeah.
So when they come up to me like, "How's your little sister?" I'm like, "Oh wait, I forgot." Like I shared my whole entire
Yeah.
life online. So
Yeah.
it's not for everyone though. I
Yeah.
think, everyone can have a camera, everyone can film stuff, but it's the quality of content that you create and if it resonates with people.
I think when you were saying that you now make videos about travel content, you're not necessarily. It's still under Princess Jules, but where did that switch come from? Now focusing more on travel content.
Yeah. I feel like my journey on YouTube was kind of an era. I documented my surgeries and my transition, but after undergoing all those surgeries, I've shared everything. Being on YouTube for 13 years, what can I talk about now? I've talked about everything under the sun. And now I'm just focusing on my life and what I'm passionate about. I feel like at the end of the day, my life is just me focusing on the now and what I'm passionate about. So right now it's traveling, dancing, minding my own business. I don't have to hang out with like the super popular kids and all that. I'm good, baby. Like I'm good doing me and doing things I love and seeing the world because life is so short.
Seems like you're in a new era of Julie Vu.
Yes.
Yeah.
Leave me alone era.
Yeah.
World tour. Let's go.
World tour. Just see where I'm going and leave me the beep alone.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I know you were saying that we were talking to you before, you were stating that like you have to connect with, I guess, the tourism boards and so forth to get out there, and I guess for help, they can also help promote you as well to a certain extent, and then you're promoting the country, which is super cool. If anybody wants to be a travel blogger, don't bug Julie Vu because she wants to be left alone. Okay.
Yeah. Don't be a travel blogger. Save those spots for me. Thank you. Go on YouTube.
Yeah, that's really cool that you transitioned that. Where are some of the places that you've traveled to in the last little bit here?
I've been to Thailand, Vietnam, Japan, India, UK, Mexico. Just a little bit around. Yeah.
And those are all like travel documented on YouTube?
Yes. On YouTube, you can find a lot of Indie ones. Those blew up.
The India one?
I seen those. Yeah, I was watching that. I was like, cool.
Yeah, Transgender in India series.
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh.
So we wanted to start off with Deja Vu Beauty Brand. Tell us all about it.
I have been in the beauty industry for quite some time. My first job was at MAC Cosmetics. And so I've always loved makeup. And I guess I've always dreamed of having my own beauty brand. And I couldn't find like one beauty brand that had everything that I wanted. So I wanted to create my own. And that's where Deja Vu Beauty came from.
Wow.
And I'm so proud of it.
Where's the inspiration for the name?
So I didn't want like Julie Vu makeup because
Mhm.
I'm not, Beyonce or Rihanna. So
Yet.
I wanted my last name in it, but not my full name.
It's very
Oh.
catchy, very catchy.
There
And
we
I like the
go.
wordplay on it for sure.
So Deja Vu Beauty.
Yeah.
So you know
Love
my last
it.
name's in there, but it's not like in your face, Julie makeup.
Yeah.
But
I love that. That didn't even click in for me until you
Yeah.
just
Oh,
said
that's
that. Yeah.
First thing I saw, I was like,
Oh
this
my
is so great.
God.
This
Yeah.
is so brilliant.
yeah, Deja Vu Beauty.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
mean-
you could tell us some of the products because I know some of the
Yes.
names are so funny, like Send Nudes eyeshadow palette or
I'm wearing
Hot
it right
Girl
now.
Stunner.
If you guys want it,
Oh,
discount code
oh,
VIP20.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Shameless plug.
Do all the plugs. Yeah. Tell us more
Yes.
about the products.
Yeah, so I started off with lip glosses. I love lip glosses. And then eyelashes, and then eyeshadow, blushes, makeup brushes. They're vegan, cruelty-free,
Love
vitamin
that.
E for everybody, all races, all genders.
Oh, amazing.
You also were able to collaborate with Sephora in 2019.
Yes.
Which is so huge.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, absolutely.
How did that come about?
I guess they reached out to me, and I guess they were trying to diversify their campaigns. It was a very heartwarming period because growing up, I didn't see anyone like me on billboards or let alone a beauty campaign.
Yes.
I've been taught that the LGBTQ is bad and we're not ever going to be successful or go anywhere in life.
Yeah.
So to have the opportunity land on my doorstep was so eye-opening and heartwarming.
Totally. And huge. Yeah.
Mhm.
Sephora's
Yeah.
like it's huge.
It was a very big campaign in 2019, and it's a campaign that's still running. We belong to something beautiful, where they
Amazing.
highlight,
Yeah.
different races, sizes, and everyone.
Okay. Were
Very
you on
inclusive.
billboards? Were you?
I was,
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing an
Nice.
ad for that.
all over Canada.
Yeah.
Wow.
Train stations, buses,
It's really
TV, Snapchat. It was everywhere. I didn't realize how big it was. I
Yeah.
would have been like, guys, pay me a little bit more then.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Rude.
Rude.
You must get people recognizing you all the time whenever you're out and
Mhm.
about, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, here and there.
You're like five
Just
times
like
a day.
casual. Yeah.
5 times a day, no biggie.
Just a little bit.
I'm like lucky if somebody says hi to me while I'm walking by.
No, stop.
No, hashtag Vancouver people.
Hello.
Hashtag Vancouver people. Don't want to say hi. Don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
Jokes. I love Vancouver though. I'm a total Vancouverite.
But yeah, congrats on that. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just so grateful that, people can see themselves, I guess, in me.
Yeah. And it's really changing now, would you
It's
say?
really changing. Absolutely.
Yeah, the changes in the
Yeah.
beauty industry, makeup
100%.
industry. Yeah.
10 years ago, you would never find a
Yes.
trans person on, a beauty campaign or even a boy.
Mm.
But now, it's so inclusive and diverse, and I love it. I love where we're headed.
I think I wanted to touch on do you find that people reach out to you only in Pride? Like for Sephora, have folks reached out to you throughout the year past Pride
Yeah,
month?
People
Okay.
have reached
That's
out
great.
to me throughout the year, but it's mainly Pride because I feel like it's like a niche, I
Mhm.
guess.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because you did an advert for IKEA as well, which is also
yes, for
huge.
Pride.
Yeah, for Pride. I remember that. We saw
Yeah.
that.
Listeners, reach out to us more than just June and August.
Right. Come
Please.
on.
We
you-
alive every day.
Every day,
Stop trying to just
24/7.
Yeah.
tick a box, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to talk about, going to Thailand and you representing Canada and the world's
Yes.
largest transgender beauty pageant called
Yes.
Miss International Queen. What was that
Yes.
like? And walk us through that pageant because I didn't even know it existed.
Oof. Yeah. So while I was transitioning, I did some research about everything.
Mhm.
Beauty, makeup, how to live, how to eat, how to breathe. This is new to me. How do I be a woman? And I came across this beauty pageant called Miss International Queen. At that time, it just seemed so out of reach.
Mm.
I remember being in my cousin's room and I was sitting on her floor and I was like, oh my God, look at this pageant. And at that time, there was a Canadian, I think she's from Vancouver actually. Her name is Jenna Takalova. And she was the first one that represented Canada. And I turned to my cousin and I told her, I'm like, I'm going to be on the stage one day.
Wow.
Let alone 6 years later, I was on that stage representing Canada.
Amazing.
Something about manifesting things.
Yeah.
For me, it just, I don't know, it always works when I manifest things.
Yes.
Being on a pageant, becoming a woman, getting beauty campaigns, like you just got to manifest it. You got to believe it, put it out in the universe, and it will prevail. I didn't really have any pageant experience, but I knew that I wanted to be on that stage to represent my community and my people. And so I did practice and I had to learn, and I won Canada, and then I went to Thailand. And it was a great experience being there with all the other trans women from all around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great pageant that exists.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's important to have space for us. You know, there's Miss Universe, and there was that whole controversy about, you know,
yes,
biologically born females only. And so having our own pageant is really nice. For me, to be honest, well, the goal was to win, but it wasn't the biggest thing on my list. I could leave and not win and be happy. It was just being on that stage with all of my other sisters and to hear their stories, where they come from, and to hear their stories was really beautiful.
That must have been really powerful to see other trans
was.
women from around the world.
Yes.
Hey?
It was, because you can really connect with them. At first, when I thought about this pageant, I'm like, oh my God, it's gonna be very catty, you know, trans girls. Like, I don't know, like this is gonna be a lot of hair pulling, a lot of sabotage. But it wasn't.
Aww.
Shockingly, it wasn't. It was more of a sisterhood.
Wow.
We were all so happy for each other. There were so many cheers. We're all there to support each other. It was actually so uplifting. I have goosebumps. But yeah, I'm still friends with them till this day.
Amazing.
Yeah. They just crowned, actually, yesterday, the winner, Miss Netherlands. Yes.
Wow.
Cool.
We'll add some photos, like when you send us photos in the YouTube video.
Yes. My little wave. Hello.
Yeah.
Julie Good Canada.
Well, we see that you also have a deep passion and love for Bollywood and Bollywood dancing. Where did your passion and creativity come with that aspect of really kind of chiming into the East Indian kind of boom?
I grew up in Surrey, so I went to Enver Creek Secondary School. A lot of my friends were Punjabi, and I was familiar with it. I was familiar with the culture. I would go after school to my friend's house, and their moms would make me food. You know, Auntie G was so nice.
Love it.
Veggie pakora, my favorite. So good.
Yeah.
But my ex was actually Indian, and so he introduced me a lot to his culture. And I guess when you're with someone, you want to learn everything about their culture, immerse yourself, and they teach you and you learn. And my first music video that I saw was Nagara Sangdol in the movie Ram Leela. And that music video changed my life. It literally changed my whole entire life. I was like, it was crazy. My eyes like opened wide. I'm like, oh, but this is so amazing. The colors, the music, the culture, it's so rich and beautiful. And I just wanted to celebrate it.
Yeah.
And be a part of it.
Very good. Yeah. Well, speaking of, you just did a performance yesterday. We were just talking about that earlier during our break here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is it going to be on YouTube, or like will it be showcased anywhere?
I think they're going to send me like the full video, but I do like have a little snippets and stuff of it. Friends were there to support me. It's on my Instagram stories. If you guys want to check it out later, me dancing and killing it. Pop, pop,
Pop, pop, pop.
pop, pop.
Okay. And what was the school that you were dancing with that they were highlighting Bollywood divas, you were saying?
Shamak.
Shamak.
Yes, Shamak.
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty big,
yeah.
right?
They're
they're
big.
around.
Yeah,
They're around.
they're around the world. So I'm just very grateful that they've opened their doors and given a space for me to dance and include me. Being a non-Indian, it's very nerve-wracking. I was the only Southeast Asian person there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And so there's a pressure. Everyone's performing, and then like I'm the only one, and they expect a lot out of me, and I want to be the best, and I want to represent the best to my abilities. And so I hope I make everyone proud and kill it.
I'm sure you killed it. I saw your other videos. I was like, I see you with the moves.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the hair flip for me, girl.
Yeah.
Yes. I have my own Hindi name that I gave myself.
Oh my
Let's
God,
hear
can't wait. Are you going to reveal
Are you guys ready?
Reveal it?
Yeah.
I'm going to reveal it. Leela. Favorite movie, Ram Leela. Leela.
Yeah.
Beautiful, mystical,
Nice.
elegance. Leela.
You've encapsulated it. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, you know how they say with an Indian accent, they're like, Leela. Hello. Leela. I always have to add something in there to just take the mix, so don't mind.
Namaste, mera naam Leela hai.
Well, you know more Hindi than I do.
Thoda.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you grew up in Surrey, so this is expected, right?
True.
No, but we love that, you're embracing the Indian culture and like you really rock it. Your dance moves are amazing.
Right.
And we're excited to see you at DCQ.
Yay.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I know we are wrapping up here, but for our listeners here, we would love to know, like, what are your upcoming projects? What are some ways we can look forward to?
Yeah. Follow me on social media, Miss Julie Vu, Princess Jewels, but new products coming out for Deja Vu Beauty.
Wow.
And as much as I like to be in front of the camera, I also like to be behind the camera. So I might be producing some short films and stuff in the future. You heard it here first.
Head up, Bhavesh.
Yeah.
Bhavesh, our videographer.
A new side of Miss Julie Vu, a creative side, storytelling.
Wow. Love that.
Hopefully more dance performances. Make it in Bollywood someday. Manifesting.
You said it.
Nope, manifesting. It's
You
going to
said
happen.
it. It's recorded. It's going to be here forever now.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Love it.
Sweet. Well, since we are at a wrap, you want to share your handles where people can reach out to you or also follow you and watch you and everything else in between? Please shoot those off for us.
On YouTube, Princess Jewels. Twitter, Instagram, it's Miss Julie Vu. And in the future, it's Leela in Bollywood.
Oh, okay.
Love it.
Perfect.
It's the confidence for me.
Yes, you own it. You're
But I'll just
glowing.
know you as Leela.
Leela. Ajao.
I'm like the auntie in the bend in India. Okay, so that's my Punjabi and where it comes from.
I love that.
Oh,
You need
yeah.
to
You
record
want
that
an
and send it to
auntie?
me.
Yeah.
I'm here. Leela.
You need to record that and send it to me.
Okay,
It'll be the
Leela.
intro. It'll be the
Leela.
intro of the performance. I'll come out like, ooh.
It'll be me and with a cane walking through. Yeah. Well, I guess, since we now officially are in a wrap, we're all going to say bye on 3. Thank you for joining us, Julie Vu. It was a pleasure.
So good.
Looking good, rocking the house, doing big things. Please look out for what she's going to be offering soon. Could be, what is it? No, it will be. Julie, Leela. Double mix. On 3, 2, 1.
Bye.
Bye.